Hello everybody and welcome back to Witchy Life Story. So last time we visited all of our old customers from before the full moon and it looks like everybody's on the mend. Caesar's getting scritches behind the ears, Mel is actually resting, and Nisha is actually going to try and talk to the Fibbly Nibblies, which is very good for us. But now we have to give potions to our new customers. Well, new old customers, but it's brand new potions after the full moon. So let's see how this goes. I do always like to save my lovely Devin for last, so let's start with Ruth since we're over here anyway. You walk up to Ruth's home. After the full moon ritual, you wonder what state she'll be in. Hopefully not Robo-Ruth. You knock on the door. Yabby, good to see you. Are you here to deliver my spell? Yup. Right here. Memory incense. It's this one. You hand the memory incense to Ruth. Yes, these should help. What are you trying to do? You know what I mentioned at the full moon ritual? You not being mayor and going traveling? Yes. So you intend to do that? You should, Ruth, you should! Or you're not? No, well, I am, but as much as the idea of exploring the world excites me, I've never really left Flora, so the idea also terrifies me. I see. I feel that. Why pressure yourself to go when you know you can be comfortable right here? Yes, I think that's precisely it. I am comfortable in Flora, even with my desire to leave. It's strange. I wish I could just take it with me wherever I go. Is that what the memory spell's for? Mm-hmm. Before I use these incense, I thought of taking a walk. Would you care to join me? A grand adventure with Ruth? Lead the way. While I appreciate the enthusiasm, you might be getting yourself a little too excited. You and Ruth head out for your walk around Flora. First, you come to the lake. I have many happy memories with my daughter and Nisha here, both of them so similar. They loved running and playing in the water and finding small little critters. I still listen to the crickets and frogs when I come here. The sounds take me right back to their childhoods. I wish I could take this lake with me wherever I go. Ruth just might have given you an idea. Yes, you gave her the memory incense, which she can burn once she gets home, but what if you have another tool to help keep her dearest memories close? Ruth? Yes, Yabby? What if I told you I had a tool you could potentially use to take the lake with you? Is this some experimental magic? No, not at all. I've used it before, and it doesn't require magic at all. It might even improve your ability to use the memory incense. But it's not magic? No, it's more of a sensory tool to help you focus and remember details. Interesting. What does it entail? You're already an avid walker, so you might already be doing some of these things. The gist of it is being very mindful of your surroundings. When I find myself in a place I want to remember, I use my senses to create a sort of snapshot. You could do this by focusing on one sense at a time. Does that all make sense? You're right. It is something I've somewhat done on my walks before. I've never actively tried using my senses to create memories, but I think I'd be willing to try. Great! How about on this walk we do some practice then? That sounds like a good idea. Since we're already at the lake, let's try focusing on one of our senses here. Let's start with... Let's do sight. Or sound? Sight. So I focus on what I see? Yep, try focusing on the colors, textures, how the sun reflects off things, etc. Okay. Ruth takes a deep breath. You see her looking around. Sometimes things catch her eye, and she can tell she's trying hard to focus on them. Even though the lake looks still, it isn't really. Everything is moving, whether it's the breeze or the lights. This is a lot to take in. Yeah, it can be, but don't worry about trying to hold on to everything just yet. I find it usually takes a few sessions to complete a snapshot. That makes sense. I think I'd like to make our way to the forest next. You and Ruth walk to the forest. I always come here when I feel like hiding from the world. I used to be afraid of these woods. When I was a little girl, I played hide-and-seek at night here with friends. I lost my way while looking for a hiding place, and suddenly all the trees looked like monsters. Fortunately, my scream let my friends find me. That's awful. It was at the time, but then I became determined to know these woods. And now we're good friends. Ready to practice one of the senses? Sure. How about... touch? The touch of the trees. The smell of... the taste of the touch. Am I supposed to walk around and touch things? Sure, unless they're things you shouldn't touch, like animals or poison ivy. Try focusing on how the ground beneath your feet and the air against your skin feel. Okay, I think I understand. Ruth starts to walk around the woods. She puts her hands on a tree trunk and then on the forest floor. Everything is so warm. You can tell it's alive, but it's also slightly damp to the touch. That was very good. I think you're getting the hang of this. Thank you. I think this is good exercise. It's also very relaxing, sort of like meditation. Yeah, it is. I think I know where I'd like to go next. The beach? It's to my secret spot. Oh? Whoa, I get to see Ruth's secret spot? Only a few know about it. Follow me. Ruth takes off on a brisk walk through the woods. You can hardly keep up. Ooh, you notice the elevation rising. Now you know why Ruth is in such great shape. How much further? You'll see. You huff and puff your way up. Ruth seems fine. You come to a sudden clearing. We're here. Wow. Aww. After you catch your breath, you look out. You see all of Flora from here and more. How far up did we just walk? Isn't it wonderful? This isn't my secret spot if I'm completely honest. Our previous witch showed it to me. I want to try focusing on one of my senses up here. I think that's a great idea. How about you try... sound. Okay. Ruth closes her eyes. Everything sounds so far off. There's a peacefulness to it, though. As if everything is just the way it's meant to be. I wish I could stay here forever, but I know I can't. I know I have to leave, even though I'll be back. When I return from my travels, this is the first spot I'll visit. Ruth turns and looks at you. Thanks for coming up here with me, Abby. Of course. This has been the best workout I've had in a long time. Fortunately, going downhill is much easier. Come on, let's go. You and Ruth make your way back down the mountain and to her home. I think I'll have to practice that sensory technique more later. This might sound strange, considering I just asked you for a way to remember Flora, but I wish I had something to help me cleanse the space too. Like, as a final way of letting go and preparing myself to move on. Does that make sense? Of course. Kind of like taking what you want and then moving on. Yes, I think that's exactly it. Of course, I'm not asking for anything extra. These memory incense should really help. Well, I think it's back to festival preparations. I've been away too long already. I'll be on my way then too. Bye. Dang. Something to help you say goodbye and move on, but in a good way. Maybe a besom could help with that? They're for sweeping away energies to make space for new ones. Is that a gem? Google. Oh, it's a broom! Ah, I get it. A broom, like sweeping away. Got it. I'm pretty sure I saw a small broom at Jimenez I could use. Oh, is that what things are for? I wonder if that would be a good idea. Broom? Oh, but it's $4,000! How the hell am I supposed to get that? Why are your prices so crazy? Jesus. Anyway, John. You walk up to John's cafe. John's baking something super yummy. You walk into the cafe. You notice there's only one customer. But you can't tell who they are behind the newspaper they're reading. Hey, John. Yabby, what are you doing here? Is that how you greet all your customers? I brought your spell. What's this? The release charm you asked for? I didn't ask for that. I knew it wasn't him. But I got a letter from you. Don't tell me he's refusing the spell again. You thought you were past that. I never sent a letter. You're the rustling of the newspaper. You look over at the other customer. Who is it, Jonas, Mel? You see them wearing oversized sunglasses and a hat. Maybe they have a mustache too? But when you make eye contact, they quickly pull the newspaper back up. Eavesdropper. But the letter had your name on it. I told you, I never wrote the letter. Maybe you wrote it in your sleep? I do not write in my sleep. I know, you have a twin. I do not have a twin. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to get back to... The person reading the newspaper clears their throat. You and John look over at them. I think I have an explanation. The customer drops their newspaper and removes their hat, sunglasses, and mustache. Perry, the platypus! I ordered the spell, John. Oh my God, Mel, go to bed. Jesus Christ. I knew it was you. Mel, you should be home. You're still sick. You didn't realize the customer was your wife? It was a very convincing disguise. He's been too wrapped up in baking Madeleines to notice much these days. Just go and look in the trash. No, not more Madeleines dead in their grave. No! You walk over to the trash can. It's filled to the brim with Madeleines. They're all failures. And how would you know? Did you let anyone try them? All these Madeleines are failures? But they smell so good and they looked baked to a perfect light gold. I do not serve failures at this cafe. John and Mel continue to quarrel, but you can't take your eyes off the trash can. You can feel the Madeleines radiating heat. These Madeleines are fresh. Your mouth begins to water. There doesn't seem to be anything else in this trash can, so really, it's just a bin full of fresh, perfectly baked Madeleines. That means you could totally... All because one critic said... That critic again. Who cares about critics when there's a whole bin of Madeleines right in front of you? Eat one. Eat. Yes, Yabby. There's no need to hold back now. Just reach your hand out and... Yabby, what are you doing? They were calling to me. I know that's a lie. But they were. 1,000 little voices saying, eat me. Those voices were in your stomach. You know what? Mel's right. This tyranny ends today. I never said anything about tyranny. You take your hand and shove them into the trash bin of Madeleines. I will take a fistful of Madeleines. You lock eyes with John as you shove the fistful of Madeleines into your mouth. Who cares that you can barely chew them? They're finally in your mouth and that's all that matters. You just ate from the... What? Does that bother you? Next thing you know, Mel shoves her hand into the trash bin of Madeleines, locks eyes with John, and shoves the fistful of Madeleines into her mouth. This is great. I love this game. She coughs from hardly being able to breathe, but she stands proud in her defiance. You both just ate. You try to keep your eyes locked on John, but this buttery flavor, this light, fluffy texture, like a delicate cloud of... Am I in heaven? Magic! This is true magic! This is bliss! John, these are truly... You see John's expression change from horror to... John, let me make some tea. John runs off in the kitchen and brings a tea tray. Let me grab a platter for the Madeleines. Yes, more trash Madeleines, please. Mel grabs a platter, puts some Madeleines on it, and brings it back to the table. John, you simply must serve these at the festival. Though ideally not from the trash bin. How would you ever think that these were bad? John and Mel look at each other. There was a critic who came to the cafe. Ooh, we're learning! I didn't know he was coming until a few hours before. So I rushed and baked some Madeleines along with a few other things. But while rushing to get everything, I forgot about the Madeleines and let them bake too long. The next day he said my dry Madeleines revolted him in his review. I see. But that's the only negative review John's Cafe has ever gotten, isn't that right? Wow, really? That's impressive. Exactly. That's why I ordered the release charm. You ordered the spell? That explains the weird letter. Mel, I just want you to move on from that one single critic who caught you on the wrong day. Honestly, he probably knew that when he wrote that review. When I had my issues in the city, you had the idea to move out here so I could be happy. So I could get away from all the people who didn't think I was capable. I realized how much of a sacrifice that was for you. This charm is my way of telling you not to let those kind of people get you down. You're so talented, John. It's not worth spending your time on people who think otherwise. Thank you. Oh my God, he's smiling. Is John smiling? I suppose you won't be needing that curse. Curse? What curse? Coventpolitan says only the most advanced witches should perform curses. And Yabby, you're still a witch in training. I'll just call me out like that. No, I don't think so. I should start prepping ingredients for the batter. That way we can make it a day or so ahead and then bake all the Madeleines the day of. We could serve local tea blends along with them. Yes, I think that's an excellent idea. Let me write that down on my to-do list. I have a meeting with the vendors coming up, so I can mention it then. Mel, go to bed. Won't be too much work. Not at all. Mel raises her cup of tea. To the festival. To the festival. To the festival! John and Mel chug the rest of their tea. Let's do this. Yes. Suddenly, John and Mel take off, leaving you at the table. But you overhear them talking. You know, maybe you should consider writing that cookbook you've been thinking about after the festival. I keep all my recipes in my head. John memorizes all his recipes? But maybe writing them down would be good. Also, please go home and rest. Yes, thank you. Fine. Hey, doesn't Jimena's shop have an old journal? I bet John could use that. But how am I supposed to get that stuff if it's like thousands of dollars? I can't get that much money. And I could enchant it for him, too. I wonder if that would be a good idea. How much is that old journal? Jesus Christ! You are predatory with your prices. Devin, what do you want that's also $50,000? You arrive at the studio. You don't hear any music coming from inside, though. I wonder if Devin is actually in there. You open the door and see Devin sitting by the window. Yabby, you're here. Devin runs over to you. Do you have it? Do you have it? Whoa! I assume you mean the spell? Confidence incense. Yes, this looks perfect. So you've got a song written then? Yeah, I do. After all the community talk at the full moon ritual, I thought talking to some local musicians would help. So Mel introduced me to some of them. After I finished speaking with them, I sat down and just wrote and wrote and wrote. Things finally clicked. Yeah, I'm sharing it with Mel and Ruth today. But I wanted you to be the first one to hear it. Aww. Really? Mm-hmm. Even with everything that's happened, I could write the song because of you. But no more runes, okay? Yes, yes. If I start to panic, I want to figure out how to work through it, but not force my way through it, if that makes sense. Yeah, I get it. So, do you want to hear it? Of course I do! Of course! Show me your masterpiece. Well, I don't know if it's a masterpiece, but I'm pretty proud of it. Devin takes a seat and brings out their guitar. Oh, I love them! I love them! As they do, suddenly, you feel transported somewhere else. Sitting around a fire with old friends, a bright, sunshine-filled garden. You can taste something savory. Perhaps it's a stew. You realize these are all places of things of comfort. There's a brightness to it, a sense of optimism. Even with long, hard days ahead, there will always be something good on the other side. As the chorus swells, you get a feeling of reassurance that all of your work will pay off. Somehow everything seems possible. Everyone will work together, and that collective energy will ensure the Harvest Festival's success. They won't even need a witch's blessing, and somehow, you feel like that's exactly how it should be. Devin's song comes to an end. They take a deep breath. So, what do you think? I'm speechless. I feel like I fell into a trance. It wasn't too dissimilar to when we play music for our rituals. Words can't capture it. Wow, I made you speechless? I wasn't expecting that. Why did that piece of music affect you so much? I wonder if your music had such strong effects because we're friends. Perhaps the strength of our bond amplified the power of the song. I want to be more than friends, Devin. You see Devin turn bright red. Now I'm the speechless one. But, of course, there's still the matter of playing for Ruth and Mel. That's the real reason I asked for the spell. When do you have to play for them? I'll probably head over a little after you leave. You know Devin asked for you not to use runes anymore, but you still feel compelled to help them further. Devin said they wanted something that would help them work through their fear. Perhaps there's something more you can do. Devin, have you ever heard of countdown meditation? I don't want to risk the confidence spell with any other magic. It's not really magic. It's one of the techniques witches use to quiet the mind before performing magic. I don't see why a non-witch couldn't use it too, especially before something like a musical performance. Of course, we only have to try it if you want. Devin looks apprehensive. You can't blame them either. How much experience do you have with this? In all honesty, it's one of the things I probably need to practice more. I know the basic principles, but I'm not always successful in pulling it off. But I think it'll help the effectiveness of the confidence incense. And increase your confidence in general without the spell. let's try it then. Maybe this kind of technique is the one I've always been looking for. All right, let's get started then. You take the confidence incense and light them. You take a seat across from Devin. Let's close our eyes. We're going to count down from 10. For each number, we'll focus on something. I usually use colors. There are currently 10 different colors in my garden, so we can work with those. So, what am I doing? I'm going to say a number and a color, and I want you to focus on that color. The idea is to force your brain to focus on something other than your anxiety. Okay, let's start. 10. Ooh, a red rose. Devin takes a deep breath. You can tell they're still uncomfortable, but you're glad they're trying. 9. Maybe this will work. The orange calendula. 8. The yellow yarrow. They take another deep breath. This one is more noticeably deeper and longer than their initial one. You notice your breath is also deeper and longer too. 7. The green rosemary. Devin's shoulders relax. You're impressed they've made it this far. Your mind usually starts to wander around now. 6. Blue pea flower. Devin takes another deep breath. 5. Pink hollyhock. You notice their knees relax. They fall a little closer to the ground. 4. Purple lavender. Their head drops. Are they asleep? 3. Burgundy geranium. Devin takes an even deeper, longer breath. No, they're not asleep. You could sense the focus in that breath. 2. White chamomile. Almost there. 1. Black allium. Devin completely relaxes and takes another long, deep breath. You allow them to sit there for an extra moment. You're impressed by how well they've done, though you really won't know until they reopen their eyes. Devin, open your eyes. Devin raises their head and slowly opens their eyes. The panic and sense of unease that was there before are gone. Are you sure that wasn't magic? I feel so much calmer now. Calmer, but not out of it or like sleepy. Like I feel like I can do things. Like I want to do things. This is weird. That's probably part of the meditation and part the incense. Wow. I think I'm ready to play for Ruth and Mel. That's great. Do you want me to go with you? Actually, I think I'll go on my own. I think I've got the confidence this time. Yay! And I think it's all thanks to you. Remember, witchcraft is the melding of energies, so it's not just mine. I guess you're right. Sometimes I wish I had something to carry with me all the time. Like something to remind me of the power of my energy. Something to carry. Oh, is that silly? No, not at all. Sorry, I was just a little lost in thought is all. I should get going. I don't want to keep Mel and Ruth waiting. Thanks again for all your help, Yabby. Of course, anytime. Devin wants something they could always carry. What about that locket at Jimenez's store? Maybe I could craft something out of that. Maybe I can haggle down the price too. Can we haggle? Because I really need to. Haggle. Locket. Give me this shit. I need it more than you. I need it to help the village. Give it to me. I will haggle, or I will poison you and curse you. With my magic, I'll get the fibbly nibblies to attack you. I got incredibly violent there for a second. Oh, well, let's see. Alright, there's only a little more time until the festival, so hopefully we can figure out how to haggle down that price. Maybe we're not going to be able to until we talk to everyone else and see what items they want. Are there 6 items? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 items. Okay. So tomorrow we will get potions for everyone else. And then those will help us figure out what those people want. Because we have the locket for Devin, the broom for Ruth, and then the journal for John. The rest are the hourglass, candle holder, and teapot. I wonder who's going to want what. I guess we'll have to find out next time. But until then, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Remember to take care of yourself, count down your flowers, and have a good day.